you can. Neil, put your hand up for...
Right. Alan, I think you've only not featured in 2 out of the last 19 games over the last 2 years. Despite the disappointment of the results, do you take a lot of satisfaction from your kind of growth as an international player?
Yeah, I think certainly from when I started, I think I've only gotten better, and I've obviously worked really hard on that. But with the coaching staff that we have, I think they've been excellent with all of us, and I think as a group and individually, we've all benefited from that and all improved game on game. And the gaffer and the staff have showed a lot of faith in me. Like you said there, I didn't actually know that, but to know that you feature in so many games, it's obviously a good feeling, and it just shows you get rewarded for your performances and your workload, and I just try and do my best every game that I feature in.
And Stephen, could I just ask you, I appreciate he's young, but when fans hear that Evan Ferguson is fit, they get a lift. What does it mean to you as a coach and the players when a player who has kind of proven himself at a high level at a young age is available for selection?
Yeah, I think it's important. We mustn't expect too much. We must be cognizant of Evan's age. He's obviously made the breakthrough and played international football at 18, and he's just turned 19. So he's got an all-round game, and he's got a few goals already for Ireland. He's been in the stadium last week, of course. So he's been very positive this week. Very positive. He could easily have been pulled out of the squad or opted to pull out, having not been available for his club last week. But he's here and he's determined to do well. And he deserves a lot of credit for that. And, we're looking forward to, we hope there's no pressure on him tomorrow. Just want to come and enjoy his football and show his quality.
Damn it,
Alan, like players at all levels will often speak about winning, breeding confidence. I'm just wondering, in the group, there's been a lot of near misses and disappointments over the last year. Has that affected the morale levels? Has that affected the belief levels of the group?
Not as much as you might think. I think, given the circumstances, given the opposition that we faced, it obviously doesn't hurt as much. When you try and go toe to toe with these teams and you don't come far off, you can take a bit of credit, a bit of confidence from that. We try and stay as positive as we can. Not saying we're happy to lose games. We're obviously disappointed after every game we lose, even draws to an extent. But yeah, we reflect on those games, we analyse them, and when you see it back and you see all the positives and then the moments that cost you, you kind of think there's not an awful lot in it. It's goals are obviously massive and goals change games, and I think we found that out in a lot of games. Where we might be on top, we feel something coming, and then it's a sucker punch at the other end, and it changes the whole game and changes the whole outcome of it, because from that point, teams, change the way they play, and you've got to adapt to it and come out even more, try to get another goal. It is really difficult, and that's the difference in quality at the minute. But again, we're not too far off it, and hopefully, it's not going to be this campaign, but going into the next and the ones after, we can benefit from those performances and change those wins or those losses or draws into wins or draws, and keep accumulating as many points as we can and find ourselves in better positions.
Stephen, can I just ask you, losing Chidozie and even maybe Festi earlier in the week, maybe two of the quicker players in your group, has that led you to maybe alter your game plan for tomorrow as you might have envisaged it coming into the camp?
Not necessarily alter our game plan. Doesn't alter our game plan. It doesn't mean that players have similar characteristics. They don't. Chidozi's unique, and Festi, I think this has been a good window for Festi. He knew that coming into it that it would have been opportunities in this window for him for sure, on the back of his good performances for Udinese, and he knew that coming in. But just he was unfortunate again. He hasn't trained with us. He was in all week hoping to get himself right. His abductor injury that he played with last week. He was struggling at club level last week, but he played the weekend anyway, and just inflamed it again. So he was struggling with that abductor. We were hoping it would ease and he'd be okay, but it wasn't the case. But to get to the question, it doesn't really alter a game plan. Just the characteristics within that. They're unique players, as you say. So it doesn't really mean tactically it's different, but just that we players with different strengths.
Mark McCann, please.
Stephen, just the FAI, there was a tweet on the number of players that you've given competitive debuts to and stuff. Is there anyone in particular, or any players that kind of particularly satisfying, maybe in terms of their journey or so on?
No, to be honest, I wouldn't like to pick out any individual. I think collectively, it's obviously been quite a radical shift over the last couple of years, and there's been criticism for that, for introducing too many players too soon. But I think, in my view, they were the players with the greatest potential at that period of time, and I think that will be proved to be the case going forward. I feel this Irish team now, this group of players, in the future will be, a lot of them have already moved up the divisions in their professional careers, and I think that the experience that they have had over the last campaign will stand them in really good stead going forward.
Philip Quinn.
Stephen, you mentioned the radical shift. The man to your right, Alan, has been a constant through your campaign. I'm over here, sorry.
Yes,
sorry, okay. I know sometimes it's difficult to talk with someone sitting right beside you, but what sort of contribution has Alan made over the last 3 years, 3.5 years? And also, is he a candidate to captain the team tomorrow night?
I think he's had last season was a tough season for him, injury wise, because he had to contend with some muscle injuries and some calf issues, and that sort of ruled. Although he was involved in the summer, he had no preparation coming into the summer window, and that affected his availability for that. But he's shown his quality this year with his club at Preston. Preston are fourth in the league, and he's been their best player. And he's been their captain and their leader, and he's had a tremendous season to date. And I suppose in my time, it's been tough for him because he's had to play in a lot of different positions, and he's been played in a lot of different positions. But it's hard. Some of the best players, it's hard to score goals at international level, but he scored goals against good teams: Serbia away, Belgium, Scotland, Norway. He scored goals. He's not a forward, so he's come up with those goals from either midfield or wing back, and and we need that, because we need goals from different areas. So he'll certainly he had a good game against Holland in the previous game, and he'll be looking to make his mark tomorrow night.
That was your call. We won't know tomorrow night, but normally the manager often brings the captain in the night before, as you have done most of the time.
No, Josh was in the last one as well, and we like to vary it. But Alan, of course, Alan is captaincy material, but I'm sure that'll happen in the future.
Thank you very much, guys. Training starts at 6:30.
Cheers.